Hey guys, welcome into Austin Live right here on the Fox Local app, joining you on this Wednesday. I know the screen looks a little different there, so we're going to work on getting that correct there. It should be a little bit more to the center. I feel like I've got a rule of thirds situation going on over here, but we'll try and get that fixed. With that being said, I was just talking to our sports director, Dennis De La Pena, and every now and then you get to interview some pretty cool people, and Dennis was able to interview Tyler Reddick. If you don't know who Tyler Reddick is, if you're a NASCAR fan, if you're a person out there that pays attention, this guy has been as red hot as anybody in the world of sports. And the reason being is because he wins the Daytona 500 and then the week after goes and wins the next race. And so this guy is just on a heater right now, winning back-to-back races, the first to do that since Matt Kenseth in 2009. And now he's coming here to Austin this weekend with that race on Sunday, and he has a chance to do something that nobody in the history of the Cup Series has done, and that is win the first 3 races of the year. And I was talking to Dennis about it. I mean, you think about it, Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, all these great drivers that have come into the world of NASCAR. Nobody's ever done it before. So Tyler Reddick is really having the chance to do something special here. So I want to pull up part of this interview here that we have with him. And as I mentioned, they're coming to Austin this week, and he's going to be racing at the Circuit of the Americas, COTA, if you will. And he is racing for a team co-owned by Michael Jordan. Yes, that Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls, 6-time NBA champ, considered the GOAT in many circles. So this is Dennis talking to Tyler Reddick here. Really cool interview. And when you hear Tyler Reddick here, you're going to be a little bit surprised. Like, this is the guy that's kicking butt in NASCAR right now? Yes, it is. So we'll listen in here.
Happy to be joined by Tyler Reddick. Let me get the name right. That would be Daytona 500 champion Tyler Reddick, right? Is that part of the official? How's life changed for you as a Daytona champ?
It's been fast-paced, even more fast-paced than what I'm used to. The week-to-week of a race car driver is very busy, and we just found a way to stay even busier here the last 2 weeks. But it's been fun. I'm okay with it.
You didn't win in Atlanta. You are now the talk of the circuit. All eyes are on you as you come to COTA with a chance to make history. I knew it had been a while since somebody had won the first 2 races, Matt Kenseth 09, but no one's done it. No one's won the first 3. Is it cool just being in that kind of discussion for you?
I'm enjoying it, and I think it's a great opportunity this weekend. For myself, my career at 2311, my first win was at Circuit of the Americas in 2023, and then also my first Cup Series pole was here. So we haven't won since 23 there, but we've seemingly always ran in the top 5 with this Gen 7 car, and we've certainly been hungry. Anytime I go to COTA and we don't win, I leave frustrated, disappointed, and my team shares that sentiment with me.
Yeah, and as if your story of this early season couldn't get any better, you're doing it for team owner Michael Jordan. How have you seen his competitive nature, which is beyond measure, transfer over to being a team owner, and how does it, help you on Sundays?
He definitely inspires us. There's been many opportunities, whether it's been in meetings, whether it's been before the race, or celebrating after the race, obviously on the good moments, but lifting us up after a tough day or night. So he definitely plugs himself in many ways here at Air 2311, and I think for someone that has done what he's done, he takes it above and beyond when it comes to being an owner.
That was our sports. Oh wait, I think we got this fixed here. It's even closer now. How about that? Wow, it's really zoomed in. It's making me make sure all of my clothing is correct here. Anyway, really cool interview there by our sports director, Dennis De La Pena, being able to talk to Daytona 500 champion Tyler Reddick. And I'm sure a lot of you out there didn't know who this guy was a couple weeks ago. And now getting so much fanfare, not only because he goes and wins the biggest race in NASCAR, but to go and win the next race. And then now have a chance to win 3 in a row, which nobody has done before. And of course, racing for Michael Jordan helps too. One of the most famous, not only just athletes on the planet, but one of the most famous people on the planet as well. So to be racing for that 2311 team is pretty awesome. And you can watch that race right here on Fox on Sunday. All the NASCAR coverage right here on Fox as well. We're going to take a quick break, just make sure everything is situated correctly here, and then we'll be back to talk about a very interesting State of the Union last night, specifically what happened with a Texas congressman and sort of the fallout of that. We'll look at that and this video that's gone viral. I don't want to get into too many of the comments because they're not safe to air here, but we'll get into that in just a second. You're watching Austin Live right here on the Fox Local app. Hey guys, welcome back to Austin Live right here on the Fox Local app. You can also join us on YouTube as well. Just go to our page, Fox 7 Austin, click the live tab. You can watch us there. You can also rewatch episodes as well here on this Wednesday. Technically my Friday, as some of you may have noticed by now, but a Wednesday, the hump day for the rest of the week. We appreciate you joining us on this Wednesday, February 25th, the night after the State of the Union. And last night we were talking to you guys right before that, about an hour before, and we were talking about how it was much anticipated. We expected it would be very long because President Trump said he wanted to celebrate in all of the great things he's done over his first year in office, and we knew he was going to get into that. And so last night, as to no surprise, it was a record-breaking State of the Union in terms of time, nearly an hour and 50 minutes, which broke the modern day record of Bill Clinton back in 2000. I didn't actually know Bill Clinton had that record, but Trump shatters that with his State of the Union address last night. But right when that State of the Union got started, there was some very, very early drama, and it had to do with Texas Congressman Al Green here, and I will pull up the video. Now, I posted this video last night right after this happened. Al Green last year at the State of the Union was also basically kicked out of the chambers because he was being a disruption. if you will. Okay, so he's not afraid of it. He wants to do this, so we expected maybe he would say something this time around, and this time he brought a sign with him. So I will pull this up now if you guys can see it. This is on my Instagram page here, so we posted it here. And this is the video, this is the picture right here. Now that sign reads, "Black people aren't apes." And you might be wondering, why is Texas Congressman Al Green saying that? And then down here, he is being led out of the chamber right as the State of the Union is getting started. And you'll notice that he runs into another congressman, and that is another Texas representative, Troy Nehls, who appears to try and perhaps take this sign from him. And so we'll wait for this video to restart, but you guys will see it. So here's everybody clapping. Here's Al Green getting up. He's got that sign that says "Black people aren't apes." He looks right at Troy Nehls here, and watch Troy Nehls say, "Get that out of here." He tries to take it away from him. And Troy Nehls, meanwhile, is wearing a tie with Donald Trump's face on it. So clearly not happy with this disruption. Now, posted this video, and we have here, and it's not necessarily a good thing, but we have 552 comments on this, and I can't even go through it because a lot of it is very racist in nature, and people calling out Al Green in here. I don't even want to give attention to that, but we did have a lot of people obviously look at this and react to it. It's got 218,000 views. So many of you out there interacting with this. We do appreciate when you interact with us. We do appreciate when you guys give us some feedback, have some questions, of course, but this really just got out of hand here. There were a lot of people saying, "Get him out of there," it was disrespectful, and then there were other comments which have been blocked that I can't go through. I simply can't go through it. So Al Green there, obviously, and this comes amid Al Green dealing with the primary that is coming up less than a week from now as well. Here is a better shot of just the photo, as you can see here, from Al Green. Now, I didn't answer the question, as you might be wondering, okay, why is he holding up this sign? Well, a couple weeks ago, and I posted this on social media as well, and I couldn't believe it when I saw it, to be quite honest with you, but and a lot of people were surprised by this as well. Trump, every now and then, will go on Truth Social and just sort of put out a ton of posts, and they'll be, real quick. And he put out a video that looked as though he was talking about voter fraud. And throughout the video, there's talking about these machines and whether or not they're actually counting the votes correctly. And at the very tail end of that video, it's the Obamas, Michelle and Barack, the former president and the former first lady, as like cartoon characters, depicting them as apes, which obviously extremely racist in nature. And there were so many people that thought, how in the world could this not be condemned by everybody? This is horrible. Why would this happen? The Trump administration saying it was a meme, it was a joke, people were overreacting to it, they thought the mainstream media was overreacting to it. President Trump said he had watched the early part of the video but hadn't seen the back end of the video. So just a really jarring video to watch. So this here is the response from Al Green. Now because of this, as we explained earlier today, or in the video I posted right after this, which you can watch right after, the U.S. House voted today to censure the congressman following his ejection. And just to let you guys know, how did that happen? Well, 10 Democrats voted with Republicans in favor of the censure. It's essentially like a formal disapproval. It's not necessarily like anything actually will happen to him. But this happened to him last year as well, as he disrupted the State of the Union then. So just a really interesting moment here in that State of the Union address. It certainly took the attention away early on. I wasn't even sure what the sign said early on. I posted the video of Green interacting with Troy Nehls here, and I thought, okay, what does that sign say? It looked like Troy Nehls was clearly trying to engage and grab the sign from him. So it's interesting. That's how it starts. And then Trump finishes his State of the Union. And then as he is walking out, he's getting some fanfare and love from other, GOP members there. And Troy Nehls is standing there where he is right there. And Trump walks by him. And Trump notices that he has this Donald Trump tie on. And so Troy Nehls then grabs his tie and puts like a booklet or something under it and hands him a Sharpie as if to say, hey, can you please sign this? So just a really, it's hard to believe with some of the stuff that we see, not only just in the political landscape, but a State of the Union address, which I mean, let's be honest, in many years prior to this, definitely not as exciting. I mean, Trump was bringing in the U.S. Olympic team last night, the men, the women not going, but the men obviously getting involved there. And they were getting backlash from a lot of people saying, why would you go? Why would you make this political? I'll try to find the video. Here it is. And I tweeted this out. So this was, I was watching it on the Live Now on Fox. And here is Troy Nels right here. He's got the tie, as you can see. He's got the tie with Trump's face on it. And then Trump is signing it. And he said, just initial it. Just initial it. I don't know if Trump did a full signature. I'm not quite sure. But that's Troy Nels there, the Texas congressman who tried to interfere with Al Green, obviously, earlier. So very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen someone inside the State of the Union address with a tie of whoever the former or whoever the current president is. Interesting scenes last night. So we'll kind of circle back on this. We'll talk about some of the fallout of it, and we'll look into a little bit more about exactly what the race looks like for Al Green as well. I want to make sure we give attention to who he's running against in this primary, and then we'll have a little bit more on a blue-green algae situation here in Austin, which is, of course, always cause for concern. Our own reporter Katie Pratt doing that story tonight. So we'll kind of give you guys some updates in terms of what the city of Austin is telling people out there. I know a lot of you out there have dogs. I have a dog since I have moved here. I have not taken my dog into any of those bodies of water because I have been warned by other people it's just not worth it. So we'll talk about that. And then, as I always mention, we've got eyes and ears on other things going around the country and here locally. And we'll try to bring you that if anything does occur. And we will touch on a little bit, I think, of the Nancy Guthrie situation, just because we got some overhead aerial shots from our Fox flight team that I do want to show you guys, sort of a different angle, and then we'll give you some updates on this case as this thing moves into day 25, nearly a month now. You're watching Austin Live right here on the Fox Local app. Hey guys, welcome back into Austin Live right here on the Fox Local app. You can of course join us on our little TikTok simulcast that we've been doing over the last couple weeks as well. If you just go to my page, Alec on Fox 7, you can watch kind of a behind the scenes perspective. You can ask questions to us in there. You can of course ask questions to us on our screen as well. If you'll notice, I believe we still have it up there. There's a QR code that you can scan. You can share images with us, videos, comments, questions, whatever you guys are feeling like sharing with us, and we will try to take that in and then show it right here on the stream as well. And we also will be trying to interact with more things on our Instagram as well. As I just showed you guys when we started off the show, the State of the Union situation, obviously with Al Green causing a disruption early on with the Black People Aren't Apes sign, and then being voted to be censured today for the second year in a row. So covered that a little bit to start. As I mentioned, if you haven't seen that, this is the video that I'm referencing right here. If you just go to my Instagram, Alec Nolan TV, you can watch it. 218,000 other views on this. We've got more than 500 comments, and it's just been really an unbelievable picture, an unbelievable image here in the State of the Union. And this is the image here on the top, and then of course Al Green trying to leave. And then the other Texas Congressman, Troy Nehls, appearing to try and take this thing away from him as he is wearing a President Donald Trump tie. He has President Trump on his tie. Anyway, you can go on there and watch that video. You can also watch the update video here where we talk about him being censured as well. Okay. As I mentioned, we've tried to avoid talking about it, I think, because I think some people are just burnt out on it a little bit. But we do have some updates regarding the Nancy Guthrie case, and I just want to circle back to them because we did get some new video today from that Fox flight team that we've gotten video from in the past. We've got this overhead situation, and it looks like, according to the New York Post here, the FBI made a final sweep today at the home of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old woman who was still missing since February 1st, the mother of Savannah Guthrie, obviously the co-host of the Today Show on NBC. Yesterday, Savannah going back on Instagram for the first time in more than a week and putting out $1 million reward, a family reward, for any information that may lead to the recovery of her mother. Just some updates here from 2 hours ago. According to the New York Post, there was a parking ban set to go into effect tomorrow for several streets in the area surrounding Nancy Guthrie's home. The Pima County Sheriff's Department announced today the no parking zone in the missing 84-year-old's neighborhood is meant to, quote, protect public safety and relieve area residents from chaotic conditions caused by large media and social media streamer presence in the area. That's interesting that they are specifically calling it, what we're dealing with now. Not only do you have mainstream media out there, local media out there, you have streamers out there on their phones just live streaming what they're seeing, people going out there to look for her. We've seen groups even in Mexico looking for her as well. I mean, a lot of people being very interested in this story, a lot of people trying to get in on this story. I'll continue with the rest of the article here. They said the FBI spent several hours in and out of Guthrie's $1 million house at the Catalina Foothills Estates. In a sign that the investigation into her disappearance is at a standstill, feds were there to do one last sweep for evidence before deciding whether family can return to the property. Wow. So it looks like they're making their final sweep. So you're probably thinking, okay, Alec, what are you talking about here? What does this look like? Here are the images from above the home. Earlier, you'll see some people in suits here, and I'll pull this video up now. So this is Nancy Guthrie's home. We see investigators doing what, according to sources, this is one final sweep to gather evidence before they decide whether or not to let family back in the property. We have seen people come in, landscapers. We've seen, the pool guys come in, obviously. We have seen a lot of people come in and gather evidence. We have seen them put a white tent outside of the front door. Looks like right there they're going into what appears to be a bedroom, a sliding glass door. I know people on our TikTok audience here cannot see what I'm talking about, but essentially what we have here is this overhead shots from the Fox flight team, just some images of investigators going around. You got some people in suits, and then you got a guy in a hoodie here in Vans. Not quite sure who that guy is compared to, are these FBI agents? Are these, I don't know. But going over some final pieces here and gathering evidence before it looks like they may turn the property over to the rest of the family. You can see some drones there trying to grab footage as well. And we don't have many answers. We do know that Savannah came out with a new video yesterday, and in that video basically coming to terms with the fact that her mother may be gone, that it may be too late to find her. She did say it would take a miracle, which is totally on the table. It could technically still happen. But at this point, after it being 25 days since she's gone missing, we don't really have much. We don't have a person of interest. We don't have a suspect. We do know that blood was found on the doorstep. We do know that people have been detained, I think 4 people in total. We know they were released. We know that they put a white tent outside that front door to perhaps examine that blood that was there. That blood has been entered into the CODIS system. Other blood that was found on the property, not coming back with any matches. It doesn't mean it's not possible. They're doing genealogy testing now. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but with the Brian Koberger case, that went quiet for a long time. There were a lot of people very upset with Idaho law enforcement saying, hey, are we going to get any answers here? Like, what's going on? And really, they were just playing things close to the vest. They didn't want to give up too much information until they made sure they had the right stuff and the right evidence, and through a genealogy test, eventually found it through Brian Koberger. So definitely something that could break through with that genealogy test. We don't know as of right now if anything's going to come up with it. And they're essentially just, I think, hoping and praying that someone, because of this $1 million reward, may finally be sitting there and saying, hey, okay, like, I've done this long enough. I've either gone on with this long enough. This is the kind of money here that would make me do something. Or maybe I know somebody who did something. Maybe I know who was in on it. I wasn't involved with it, but maybe I was knew who it was, and I'm going to give this tip now to the Pima County Sheriff's Office. And according to our producer right here, was it 1,500 tips, Kelsey? What? 1,500 tips? 1,500 tips. That's according to her there. So we'll see. We'll continue to monitor it. Obviously, it looks like they did one final sweep there. I won't show you guys the video of Savannah again because we did that yesterday, but that's pretty much the latest, and it looks like this thing may be starting to go a little bit cold now, unfortunately. When we get back from our break, I do want to get into the Epstein files. I know a lot of you out there have asked to talk about the Epstein files. People here on our TikTok audience always asking about the Epstein files. We do have some updates, and Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, coming forward today and admitting some terrible things, obviously. So we'll go through some very interesting photos that we have with some very famous and powerful people involved with Jeffrey Epstein, and we'll let you know why Bill Gates is apologizing. We'll be right back. All right. Hey guys, welcome back into Austin Live right here on the Fox Local app. You can, of course, join us on YouTube as well. Just go to Fox 7 Austin, hit the live tab. You can watch us there. You can also rewatch episodes as well. And if you like to watch on your phone or do a little dual screen viewing, I know many of you out there are, you'll be watching Netflix and you're also on your phone. You can join us on TikTok right here, Alec on Fox 7, so you can kind of get a behind the scenes look of what we're doing here as well as watching us on the regular stream. Before we went to break, I basically told you guys that one of the most powerful and famous men on the planet, Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, issued an apology. Obviously, we have heard his name mentioned quite a bit over the last several months because of the Epstein files, the Epstein documents that have been released by the Department of Justice. We have heard so many names mentioned in that, powerful names. The President of the United States, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Larry Summers, you name it. I mean, it's a game of who's who, really. And we have seen people in other parts of the world step down from certain positions because they have been mentioned in the Epstein files, specifically in the UK. We've seen what has happened with the former Prince Andrew in the United Kingdom in dealing with all of this. And really, you could argue, I mean, he has been the fall guy for a lot of this. I mean, he's taken the brunt of this, clearly, and being stripped of his titles, and they are allegedly going to strip him from being in the line of succession. He's like eighth in line, but still. Anyway, why is Bill Gates apologizing? Here's why. Here's the article here from the New York Post. Bill Gates admits he had 2 affairs with Russian women, so he then is apologizing now to staff over the Jeffrey Epstein ties. So he has admitted that he had 2 affairs with Russian women while married to his now ex-wife, Melinda Gates, and he issued an apology for his links with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. So Gates, the 70-year-old man, told staffers at his foundation yesterday that he flew on a private plane with the disgraced financier and spent time with him in the U.S. and abroad, but didn't participate, he says, in any crime. Now, this was a story originally exclusively grabbed by the Wall Street Journal, so we'll give them credit there. He said, I did nothing illicit. I saw nothing illicit. To be clear, I never spent any time with the victims, the women around him, he says. But here he is with a woman whose identity has been obscured. This was released by the House Oversight Committee on December 18th. We don't know who this woman is. Here's another picture of Bill Gates here with a woman. Don't know who that is. Many of these faces have been redacted, and the reason being is they wanted to redact any information regarding victims. But if you ask Bill Gates, he said, I did nothing illicit, I saw nothing illicit. To be clear, I never spent any time with the victims, the women around him. So who are these women? I don't know. And why are they blocking out their faces? I don't know. Now, according to the documents, Bill Gates first met Epstein in 2011, and this was after Epstein's Florida conviction, okay, for procuring a child for prostitution, and continued to socialize with him, seemingly ignoring concerns raised by his now ex-wife. Obviously, he's denied any wrongdoing over these Epstein links, but he came clean about alleged affairs during his time with his wife, who filed for divorce back in 2021. They were married for 27 years. He says, I did have affairs, one with a Russian bridge player who met me at bridge events, random, and one with a Russian nuclear physicist who I met through business activities. Unbelievable. Epstein had previously threatened Gates over the affair with the Russian bridge player Mila Antonova, which was previously reported by the outlet. Epstein met Antonova while seeking financial backers for a bridge academy before he paid for her to attend software coding school. Here's a picture now of Epstein right next to Bill Gates here. I know it's a little blurry, but I did pull up some images here. And while we're talking about all this, and while we're talking about Bill Gates coming out and apologizing for cheating on his wife of 27 years, I pulled up some images. This is from the House Oversight Committee. Here are the newest images released, and we can just sit back and go through these. That's Steve Bannon there talking with Epstein. The next image you'll see is Woody Allen, obviously the Academy Award-winning director, filmmaker, actor, who's still alive, by the way. So there's Woody Allen. That's Richard Branson, the the founder of, the Virgin brand, the billionaire as well. There's Epstein in the back. Here is President Donald Trump with 6 women here. Their faces have all been blurred out and redacted. Here's Woody Allen again with a woman whose face has been blocked out, and there's Jeffrey Epstein there. So we don't know who that is. Here's President Trump again with Epstein. I'm not sure who these people are on the right. And once again, I don't have exact dates on these, but this is from the House Oversight Committee releasing this. This is a hallway, and then if you look here, that appears to be Bill Gates in a plane. And if he said he flew on his private plane, I think safe to assume here's Bill Gates. And guess who that is on the right? That is Prince Andrew, obviously, who has lost everything pretty much in all of this. Been arrested by UK authorities as well. Here is Bill Gates appearing to take a picture with the pilot of this private plane. There is Epstein taking a mirror selfie with Steve Bannon again. And we've seen in these images, he clearly spent a lot of time talking to Steve Bannon. Here's President Trump again with a woman whose face has been blocked out. We don't know who that is. Here is former President Bill Clinton. There's Ghislaine Maxwell. There's Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell in prison as we speak here in Texas. I think that's Larry Summers there. And there's Jeffrey Epstein wearing a Harvard jacket, if you will. There is Woody Allen again, who also appears to be on this private plane. So just some really damning photos here. I mean, Bill Gates there with Prince Andrew. I mean, my goodness. I mean, that's unbelievable. And then you've got this one here, Bill Gates taking a picture with the pilot here on the plane. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. First meeting him allegedly in 2011, which would have been after he was convicted of the prostitution situation. I will go on to read the rest of this article here. On July 4th, 2013, Bill Gates' chief advisor for science and technology, Boris Nikolic, in an email, he alleges Gates had affairs. The pedophile claimed the women risked becoming overnight sensations. Bill risks going from the richest man to the biggest hypocrite, Melinda a laughingstock. Pledges will disappear as a result, Epstein told Nikolic. Just weeks later, Epstein sent a resignation email to himself in which he seemed to be writing it as Nikolic. During the past few weeks, I had been caught up in a severe marital dispute between Melinda and Bill, the email said. The email tried to suggest Nikolic had assisted Gates in securing medication in, quote, order to deal with the consequences of sex with Russian girls. My goodness. Nikolic claimed the emails were not written on his behalf or at his request. During the town hall, Gates admitted he spent time with Epstein in New York, Germany, France, and Washington, but said he never visited his island. Gates acknowledged now how his ex-wife had always been wary of his links with Epstein. Here he is again. Here's another picture. There's Bill Gates. There's Epstein. There's Bill Gates and his wife. To give her credit, she was always kind of skeptical about the Epstein thing. Gates also admitted how his links with Epstein had impacted others within the Gates Foundation. I apologize to other people who are drawn into this because of the mistake I made. Unbelievable. He says, I thought it would help me with global health philanthropy. In fact, it failed to do that. It was just a huge mistake. No duh. Unbelievable. We're going to take another break. When we get back, we will try to wrap up the show here. We've got about 20 minutes left. Once again, you're watching Austin Live right here on the Fox Local app. You can join us right here on our TikTok stream that we've got going as well. You can ask us questions here. I'll try to answer them. And, of course, you can follow us on all of our social media at Fox 7 Austin as well. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back into Austin Live. You're watching us right here on the Fox Local app. You can also join us on YouTube Live as well. Just go to Fox 7 Austin. That is our page. And then, it gives you those options. Hit the live one. And once you hit the live one, you can watch us right there. And you can also rewatch episodes as well. And if you're feeling like getting a little behind the scenes look, you can join us on our TikTok live stream here. We've sort of done this simulcast over the last few weeks. It's been a lot of fun. People have been able to ask us questions, kind of steer the conversation, and with this being an unscripted show, we can sort of do that. So I won't say you'll have full control over exactly what we talk about, but if you notice something or if you want to talk about something, I am perfectly cool with shifting gears there and doing what you guys want to talk about. So if you're just joining us, first part of the show, we showed you a really awesome interview that our sports director Dennis De La Pena did with the Daytona 500 champ Tyler Reddick, who was racing for Michael Jordan's team. Isn't that cool? Like, imagine getting in a NASCAR and then the owner of your team is Michael freaking Jordan, right? Amazing. Well, then right after that, he goes and wins the next race, and now he can win 3 in a row. He's coming here to Austin this weekend to race at COTA, and really just on the footsteps of doing something really historical. It's never been done before. Nobody's ever won the first 3 races in the Cup Series. So congrats to Tyler Reddick. We appreciate him taking the time to talk to Dennis De La Pena. Wouldn't expect that guy to be a NASCAR driver. I guess it's different. Dennis was explaining to me that these guys, these younger guys now, grow up on these simulators. They're, just a little bit of a different creative thinker, I guess, or intuitive thinker. So anyway, really awesome there. You can watch that on our website, Fox 7 Austin. Then we got into the crazy viral video of Al Green. And we posted this last night, and I just want to double check. So this is on my Instagram here. If you just go to Alec Nolan TV, this thing just keeps going and going and going. The comments never stop. But Congressman Al Green holding up a sign last night during the State of the Union, at the start of the State of the Union, saying black people aren't apes, referencing the Truth Social post by President Trump a few weeks ago, depicting the Obamas as apes, and then the Trump administration coming out and saying that was merely just a meme, it's part of a larger meme with Trump being sort of the king of the jungle, with him being a lion, and there's other people that are involved with this as well. Anyway, the other Texas Congressman, Troy Nehls, tries to grab this sign from him. We've got almost 600 comments on this now, 2,700 likes, and this thing has been viewed, 224,000 times. It's just nonstop. People are talking about this thing nonstop. So you can watch that video if you go there as well. And then we have another video where I explained that for the second year in a row, he has been censured following the State of the Union. Okay, this is a crazy story, and this is a headline that doesn't even seem real, okay? This is from our sister station, Fox 4 in Dallas, KDFW. Headline reading, Squatty Potty creator faces child pornography charges in Utah. Horrifying. So here it is. I'm going to pull this up. It's just kind of giving us the brief here, but Robert Bobby Edwards, okay, if you watch Shark Tank, you've seen this guy. You know what we're talking about here. Some of you out there have a squatty potty. I know you do. I had one like this. I mean, a lot of us have, okay? So the co-founder, his name is Robert Bobby Edwards. He has been charged with receiving child pornography in Utah. That is according to federal prosecutors. According to a news release from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Utah, Edwards, 50, was indicted by a grand jury on February 10th and arrested 2 days later. What we know so far. Investigators said from March 2021 through November 2025, just this past November, Edwards knowingly received multiple images of child sexual abuse material. And if you don't want to listen to this, I'm giving you a warning now. I understand some of this content here will be sensitive to you out there, so I'm just giving you a warning as we read through this thing here. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, in March 2021, an undercover FBI agent joined an online meeting room where people were viewing child sexual abuse material videos on the main screen. My God. What they're saying, participants in the meeting were visible, including one user later identified as Edwards. 4 years later, in May 2025, FBI agents reportedly found that Edwards bought more child sex abuse material using his PayPal account. On November 4th, 2025, law enforcement executed a search warrant at Edwards' home. Investigators say they found a cell phone in his vehicle that contained multiple videos and images of child sexual abuse material, some of which downloaded onto the cell phone just 2 weeks before the search warrant was executed. They allegedly found more child sex abuse material in his home. Wow. Edwards pleaded not guilty and was remanded to the U.S. Marshal Service until his detention hearing, which is scheduled for March 2nd, next week. According to Hanlon Law, a sex crimes law firm in Tampa, Florida, a first-time offender faces up to 10 years in federal prison if convicted of possessing child pornography. That doesn't even seem long enough, let's be honest. So as we mentioned, I mean, Edwards found this super popular company, Squatty Potty, back in 2011 with his family, his mom, his dad, his brother, and goes on Shark Tank, becomes this massive company. The company was valued in 2020 at $175 million. Unbelievable. Unbelievable story. So there he is. There's the guy, Robert Bobby Edwards, on Shark Tank here, now being arrested and charged with receiving child pornography in Utah. Horrible, horrifying story. We're going to check on some other things as well. I do know that J.D. Vance spoke earlier, and I was trying to pull up his conversation here. So we'll check in on that, and then we'll try to wrap things up as best we can. And as I mentioned, you can join us here on the TikTok, ask us any questions you like, and scan that QR code as well if you want. And you can go there, and we'll try to pull up any comments, images, videos you guys may have. You're watching Austin Live right here on the Fox Local app. Hey guys, welcome back into Austin Live right here on the Fox Local app. You can also join us on YouTube Live as well. And as we have shown you guys over the last several weeks, we've got a TikTok simulcast. The funny thing about this, I was so resistant to TikTok for years. For years. I did not want to use TikTok, didn't like TikTok, didn't even have it on my phone. And just in the last 2 weeks, I've been using it. And I must admit, it can be quite entertaining. It can be quite fun. So good to have people on here, ask questions, interact with us, kind of try and steer the conversation as best as possible. So we appreciate that. As I mentioned, you can scan that QR code that's also on this screen as well to share photos, videos, images with us. I mean, during that ice storm we had, it was really great that so many of you shared some awesome images with us. Obviously, we wanted you to stay safe and not do anything crazy to try and get a photo, but we appreciated everybody that was talking to us and all of that. Something I did want to get to before we leave, and I mentioned this earlier slightly, but this is something that obviously affects so many of us here in Central Texas, and it's a dog-friendly place here in Austin. But there's always this concern with blue-green algae. I have a dog, and as soon as I got here, I'm like, hey, I like to take my dog into the water. He loves the water. He's a chocolate lab. He's a water dog. Well, I have not taken him to any bodies of water here because of this right here. So this is from the city of Austin, reminding residents to take precautions around local waterways because of the presence of blue-green algae, some of which, not all, but some of which may be toxic. The Austin Watershed Protection employees have observed algae in Austin's lakes and creeks this winter. As spring approaches, conditions will become favorable and we expect to see more algae in our waterways. People should continue to be cautious and avoid contact. So obviously, if you've got a pet, you want to take them out. Just maybe not worth it. I've had people tell me, hey, it's just not worth it, don't do it, why even risk it? I haven't, unfortunately, and I feel bad because I want to take him, to swim in the water. He's a great swimmer, loves the water, can't get him out of it, but just too risky. Our very own reporter, Katie Pratt, will have more on this story coming up later tonight in our newscast, so you can check more of that out. And look, we all love our dogs. We want them to have fun. We want to take them places, but sometimes it's just not worth it because there's really nothing you can do, it sounds like, once this hits them. So Katie will have more on that coming up. There is a slight update I wanted to give you guys. I didn't get to this earlier, but Bill Malugin here from Fox News, I did want to get to this before we get out of here. I think we have time. We got about 2 minutes. Cuba's government says their forces shot and killed 4 people after an American speedboat approached their shores. So let's listen in to Bill Malugin.
Good evening, I'm Bill Malugin, and this is your Fox News report. Cuba's government says their forces shot and killed 4 people after an American speedboat approached their shores. They claim the people on that boat shot first and injured a Cuban commander. But Florida's Attorney General says the Cuban government cannot be trusted. The White House says they're monitoring it. After the longest State of the Union speech on record, President Trump is back to work on Iran. American F-22 stealth fighter jets are in Israel as the U.S. and Iran prep for their 3rd round of nuclear talks in Geneva. The president says his goal is diplomacy, but will never allow a nuclear-armed Iran. This as the Pentagon stacks the Middle East with a U.S. military presence not seen in 20 years. And from one negotiation to another, President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky on the phone today, ahead of the next round of talks between the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia. Zelensky telling Fox he wants a deal, just not the one Russia's offering.
Believe me, not everybody is ready, that we are ready to eat what Putin cooked for us.
And the partial government shutdown now in its 12th day. Lawmakers still at odds over a bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Senate Democrats are holding out for changes to ICE funding. TSA, FEMA, Coast Guard, and Secret Service all set to start missing paychecks on Friday. Fox is on top of all your day's news. Be sure to keep it right here in Washington. I'm Bill Malugin. Have a great night.
Bill's got good hair there, doesn't he? Good head of hair. I gotta get mine better, I guess. His looks a little bit more precise. Anyway, so some interesting stuff there, and I think Bill will be doing those more often, just trying to give us a 90-second quick report exactly on what's going on around, not only just here nationally, but internationally as well. But I think the big story out of there, Cuba's government saying their forces shot and killed 4 people after an American speedboat approached their shores. Really interesting. I did want to point out as well, before we get out of here, that I do have a movie recommendation. I know this maybe isn't the place for it, but I figured because I watched it and I felt so strongly about it on my days off that you should know about it. a crime thriller, Crime 101. I know the name is kind of weird. Crime 101, right? Great movie. Freaking awesome. Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry, Mark Ruffalo. Fantastic. Kind of old school. I won't put it on the same level as Heat. I don't think there's a lot of movies that are out there that are on that level, but it at least gives you a little taste of something like that. So if you're looking for something entertaining, and you don't want to go see Wuthering Heights with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, Crime 101. All right, that's going to do it for us here on Austin Live, right here on the Fox Local app. We will see you guys next week on Monday, and we will get ready for that election on Tuesday.